Most people turn 30 and check their savings account for the first time in months. What they find stops them cold, not because the number is zero, but because they realize, quietly, that the version of themselves they imagined at 22, the one with a plan, with discipline, with a head start, never actually showed up. That person never existed. Here's the number the financial industry quietly agrees on but rarely shouts from the rooftops. By age 30, you should have the equivalent of your annual salary saved. Not half of it, not a down payment fund. Your entire annual income, sitting in savings and retirement accounts combined. If you earn $50,000 a year, that means $50,000 saved. If you earn $80,000, $80,000. That's the benchmark. And right now, research from the Federal Reserve consistently shows that a majority of Americans under 30 hold very little in liquid savings, often less than enough to cover a single month of expenses, leaving them far short of any retirement benchmark. Let that land. The gap between where most people are and where the math says they need to be is not a small miscalculation. It is a structural collapse. And to understand how we got here, you have to go back to a concept that most people were taught too late or never at all. Compound interest. The mechanism that turns $30 a month at age 22 into something that dwarfs the same $30 invested at age 35. Fidelity Investments, one of the largest retirement account managers in the world, has documented this for decades. Their guidelines, still in active use, suggest the one-time salary rule at 30, 3 times salary by 40, 6 times by 50, and 10 times by 67. These are not aspirational targets. They are the minimum thresholds required to maintain your current lifestyle in retirement without depending on Social Security as your primary income source. And this is the part nobody talks about. Social Security was never designed to be your retirement plan. It was designed in 1935 as a supplement, a floor, not a ceiling. According to the Social Security Administration, the average monthly retirement benefit sits in the range of roughly $1,700 to $1,800. Enough to cover basic expenses in some regions, but far short of what most people need to maintain their pre-retirement standard of living. That is not a retirement. That is survival mode. So why are so many people at 30 behind? The evidence points to 3 pressure points working simultaneously. Student loan debt, which in the United States now exceeds $1.7 trillion across all borrowers. A housing market that has priced starter homes out of reach in most major metros, and stagnant wage growth that failed to keep pace with inflation for most of the past decade. These are not excuses. They are the documented terrain most 30-year-olds have been navigating without a map. Nobody handed them the map. But here's where it gets interesting. The one-time salary benchmark at 30 assumes you started contributing to a retirement account at 22. If you didn't, if you're sitting at 29 or 30 with little to nothing saved, the math changes, but it does not collapse. The single most powerful move available to someone behind at 30 is this. Maximize your employer's 401k match immediately. Not next quarter, not after the next raise. This week. An employer match is a guaranteed 50 to 100% return on that contribution before the market does a single thing. Leaving it unclaimed is the financial equivalent of declining a raise. Most people who are behind are also simultaneously leaving free money on the table every pay period. That detail changes everything. Now, remember what I said at the start, that moment when someone checks their account and goes quiet? The silence isn't defeat. It's the first honest look at the gap, and you can only close a gap you're willing to measure. The people who end up financially secure at 65 are not the ones who earned the most at 30. They are overwhelmingly the ones who started the habit earliest, even imperfectly, even small. Vanguard's annual How America Saves report, which tracks defined contribution plan data across millions of accounts, consistently finds that regular, sustained contributions, even modest ones, are among the strongest predictors of long-term account growth, often outperforming the results of higher income earners who contribute inconsistently. Consistency, not brilliance, not a windfall. So here's the question worth sitting with. If the benchmark is 1 times your salary by 30, And you know your number right now, the one sitting in your account. What is the actual distance between where you are and where the math says you need to be? And more importantly, what is the story you've been telling yourself about why that gap exists? Because that story is either the problem or the first thing you change. This video is for educational and entertainment purposes only and does not constitute financial, legal, or investment advice. Always do your own research before making any financial decisions.